Hey folks, I hope you're doing well and you're watching the English Snob. Today I have an ambitious goal of teaching you 10 idiomatic expressions that are going to help you diversify your speaking and listening comprehensions. These expressions are for those who's already intermediate and above. So if you're interested sounding like a pro, get your exercise book ready and write these expressions down so that you learn them, you train them, and I would want you to use them in your day-to-day life. So let's do it. Number 1, speak your mind. That means speak what's on your mind, what you're thinking of. For example, John spoke his mind in front of his parents because he wanted to be a musician. That means he spoke what he was thinking of because he wanted to be a musician, so he decided to speak his mind in front of his parents. Or you might say he's a tough politician who speaks his mind in a blunt way. That means he's a tough politician who speaks whatever comes in his mind in a very straight way. Alright? Number 2, chalk and cheese. If two people are like chalk and cheese, that means they have different attributes and opposing characters. For example, Jessica and Irina are like chalk and cheese because they are different when it comes to have a correspondence. Or you might say John and his sister are like chalk and cheese when it comes to get along with each other because they have opposing characters. Alright, number 3, from the word go. That means from the very start or from the beginning. For example, this couple had problems with understandings from the word go. That means this couple had problems with understanding from the very start of their relationship. Or you might say, I have trouble with that scooter from the word go. That means I have trouble with that scooter from the very beginning. Alright, number 4, let your hair down. That means to allow yourself to behave freely than usual. For example, going to the beach is just a good way to let your hair down. That means going to the beach is just a good way to relax yourself or to behave freely than usual. Or you might say, I spotted Laura really letting her hair down on the dance floor. That means Laura was enjoying a lot because she allowed herself to behave freely than usual. Alright? Number 5, for good. That means permanently, indefinitely. For example, Sarah says she's leaving John for good. That means she's leaving John permanently. I know for John that would be hard to deal with. Or you might say, I'm moving to another city for good. That means I'm moving to another city permanently. Alright? Number 6, give or take. That means approximately. When it comes to pronounce this phrase, we reduce O from it. It's like give or take. Give or take. For example, I live 10 kilometers away from this school, give or take. That means I live approximately 10 kilometers away from this school. Or you could say I have 400 friends in my friend list on Facebook, give or take. That means I have approximately 400 friends in my friend list on Facebook. Alright, number 7, rule of thumb. That means general rule or general principle. For example, if you want to be a good speaker, it's a rule of thumb that you have to read aloud at least 2 pages in a day. That means if you want to be a good speaker, it's a general principle that you have to read at least 2 pages aloud in a day. Or you could say, if you are preparing for the IELTS test, it's a rule of thumb that you must have stronger vocabulary. That means if you are preparing for the IELTS test, you must have at least 10,000 words in your vocabulary bank, and it's a general principle. Alright? Number 8, people person. If a person is people person, that means it is very social, that like talking to strangers. For example, John is such a people person because he makes friends everywhere he goes. That means he's such a social person because he makes friends everywhere he goes. Or you could say Laura is people person because she gets along with strangers easily. That means she can be friends with strangers easily. Alright? Number 9, to have common ground. That means to have similar interest or opinion. For example, my friend and I have common ground when we talk about political issues. That means we have common interest, we have similar opinion when we talk about political issues. Or you could say, as a fresher in a company, it's hard to find common ground with people you don't know well. That means, as a fresher in a company, it's hard to find similar interest with people you don't know well. Alright, number 10, you name it. That means anything you can think of. For example, John is such a versatile musician because he can play the guitar, the piano, the flute, you name it. That means he can play anything you can think of. Or you could say, Revelstoke is the state restaurant of this town because it has variety of soup, parmesan, farofa, you name it. That means it has everything that you can think of. So there you go folks, today we are just focusing on idiomatic expressions. Make sure to check out my Instagram, drop me a message, leave me a comment and subscribe to this beautiful channel because I'm gonna peace out. Thank you for stopping by.